Apple knows that they're manufacturing a product that's completely unsustainable. They don't want anybody else to know that.
Triple J.
Now, have you ever smashed a screen on your smartphone? I think I've done it about 4 times. What did you do? Did you throw it away and upgrade, take it to the shop to get fixed? Or did you just deal with a cracked screen and eventually get glass in your face? Another crazy idea, try and fix it yourself. Wild, I know. Well, the guy you're about to meet says it's not that hard. And no surprises, Apple don't really like him. The big tech companies make billions out of repairs. They often make you believe that only they can fix the problem. Kyle Weems says that's rubbish, and he started a website called iFixit, and it's got loads of tips, and now he's moved into actually selling spare parts for devices. Kyle, thanks for joining us. Now, you absolutely hate built obsolescence.
I don't like it when people want to make you spend more money than you have to.
So what lengths are they going to do that?
Well, if you take your iPhone, you look at the bottom of the iPhone, it has a special screw on the outside of it. So Apple has said they don't want anybody getting in and fixing it themselves. They don't want local folks to be able to take it down to your neighborhood shop and fix it. And I think that's crazy.
And why do they do that?
Everything that they can do to get you back into the shop to buy a new one, they're going to. And then if they can't talk you into a new one, then they want to monopolize the repair service. And this is the case with car companies. It's the case with electronics companies. Everybody wants you to go back to them. They want to maintain control.
So for over 10 years, you've been basically waging a war on these tech companies trying to rip us off for repairs. It actually started in a college dorm room with a broken laptop.
Right. I was trying to fix my iBook, and I was Googling around for a repair manual because I knew that Apple had made one, and I couldn't find it online anywhere. And I did a bunch of research, and it found out that Apple actually uses legal threats to prevent people from being able to share manuals. So everybody that had posted Apple repair manuals online had gotten a letter from Apple's lawyers demanding they take it down. So I pulled the laptop apart and I got it fixed. I just took a drop of solder. And then when I was trying to put it back together, I was just really struggling. The first time you take anything apart is hard. And I broke some tabs and latches, and eventually I got it back together, but it was never quite the same. It's like, man, if I had had a guide, if I had had somebody walking me through this, it would have been so much easier. I could have actually gotten it working. So I decided nobody else should have to go through the pain that I did. Took it apart again, took some pictures, posted them online, and they got very popular. It turns out a lot of people wanted to know how to fix things. And we've been doing it ever since.
Wow. So what happened from there?
So I just started getting more things, taking them apart, got to a point where I had written repair manuals for every single product that Apple sold. Apple now is the only company in the world that has free online repair manuals for every product that they make. But it's because I did it for them or to them.
Okay, so you're providing manuals, and obviously to get around the copyright issues, you had to write them yourselves. You couldn't just rip off their manuals.
Right. We had to write everything from scratch. So we're figuring it out, and we'll take apart a computer and we'll figure out like this is how we think we're going to do it, and then we publish it, and then people give us feedback.
But you're also selling spare parts now, and you've also created some tools to help you unscrew those really tricky screws. So the first big one you invented was the pentalobe screwdriver?
Right. So when we found on the iPhone 4, Apple started using the special news screwdriver, and it wasn't available anywhere. So they had them, but nobody else had them. So we're like, okay, well, I'll just reverse engineer the screwdriver. And that sounds easy, but it's actually really a tiny, tiny screw.
Okay, so let's take the basic example, and probably everyone listening has at some point in their recent life smashed the screen of their smartphone. I did it recently. I went to the Apple store, paid well over $200 to get the screen fixed. How much could you fix it for yourself? Where would you get the parts, and how hard is it to do it?
You can go on eBay, you can go on Gumtree, and you can find there's folks with parts. Now, the thing is, don't buy the cheapest part. On like an iPhone, if you need to put in a new screen and a new battery, you don't have to solder. It's very straightforward. It's very easy. With no experience, I think anybody could swap out the battery in an iPhone in less than 20 minutes. It's really easy.
And what about a screen? How long would that take?
Screen, same thing, 30 minutes.
20 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty quick. You're listening to Kyle Ween there. He's the guy who started the website iFixit. He says he can fix your devices. Kyle, do you think maybe we need to rethink the way we consume technology?
We have to change how we're consuming things. Right now, we have, what I call take, make, dump. We dig stuff out of the ground, we make stuff out of it, we use it for very short periods of time, and we toss it away. It's not sustainable, but it's also, I think, not a very satisfying way to live, to like constantly be on this treadmill where you have to get more things, and we work really hard, and then all the money that we make, we give to these big corporations. I would much rather have us understand the things that we own, use them for as long as possible, get the maximum utility out of them.
All right, and to further understand, I guess, the ramifications of built obsolescence, you actually have traveled to one of the biggest e-waste sites in the world in Ghana. What was it like?
It's phenomenal. It's not a dumping yard, it's a scrap yard. So they're actually taking old electronics, taking them apart and mining them for raw materials. So they'll take a bundle of wires and they want to get the copper out of the inside of the wires. And the easiest way to do that is to light them on fire. So they're lighting wires on fire, burning the insulation off, and then selling the copper. And the problem is that in the process of burning that you have huge amounts of polybrominated flame retardants. There's all kinds of nasty chemicals in these things. It didn't feel very good when I was there. And this is a problem with this like systemic culture that we have where we're buying things, using them for a very short period of time, and then tossing them away. We have to figure out a way to make the things that we have last longer and also find like safe recycling practices.
Do Apple hate you?
They don't like me very much. Out of all the elements on the periodic table, 50 of them are in your iPhone, and only 12 of those are recoverable in recycling. So there's no way to take a truck full of old iPhones, grind them up, melt them down, and make new iPhones. So, of course, Apple knows that they're manufacturing a product that's completely unsustainable. They don't want anybody else to know that.
So do you get some emails, phone calls, legal letters?
I mean, we're pretty good. I've got some good lawyers working with me, so they would like to shut us down, but there's not much that they can do. And
it sounds like you're onto a bit of a winner here, to be honest. Is your company doing well? Are you making a lot of money?
We're doing reasonably well, and all the money that we make, we put back into creating manuals. So we've got manuals for over 25,000 different things now. You can go on iFixit, learn how to fix a bicycle, learn how to fix a lawnmower or a kettle, or any kind of electronic device, musical instruments, across the board. We're trying to build a free open source repair manual for everything.
Are they getting easier or harder?
It depends. So Samsung's products are getting harder. Apple's iPhones are getting slightly easier.
Kyle, fascinating to speak to you. Thanks so much for joining us on Hack. You might have inspired a lot of people to pull out their screwdrivers.
Yeah, go out there, take something apart. If you've got something that's broken, the worst that's going to happen is it'll stay broken.
Hack.